98.3 Mullins, Marion, South Carolina, USA.
98.3 FM, 1280 AM, WJAY. Now,
it's time for Dee Sportswrap, covering high school sports in Marion County, South Carolina. Here's the host of Dee Sportswrap, Michael Jenkins.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to 2020. Feels good to be here, doesn't it? Obviously, the alternative is not very good. So I'm happy to be here. Hope you are. And I want to wish each of you out there a Happy New Year, and I wish you the best in the coming year. A couple of days ago, I went down to visit my cousin down in Utahville, South Carolina. She told me that she had made a fruitcake, which I love, and which her mom was a master at. So she said, well, it's not going to be as good as mom's. I was saying, well, you know what? I'll try it anyway. So I go down there, and she cut me a couple of big hunks and put it on the plate for me, and I brought it home. And my wife, who's not a big fruitcake fan, she jumped in and she loved it. But my daughter came over the next day, who she doesn't understand fruitcake. She said, Dad, what is that? I said, it's fruitcake. She said, what are those little things in there? I said, duh, it's fruit. And she said, what? I said, those are fruits and nuts. I said, try it, you will love it. Now, she's a cake person, but she didn't like it. She said, no, Dad, I can't eat it. I said, okay, fine. Put it back on the table. And I'm about to finish. I got one more big hunk to go. I'm going to finish it off probably this morning or sometime today. I love fruitcake. I love good fruitcake more. And my aunt, God bless her, was the best fruitcake maker that I've ever known. I mean, it was just unbelievable. She took time, patience, and she did it right. So she's moved on, but her daughter is still here, and I'm grateful that she is because my aunt really taught her how to do it. This week, tournaments were going on, and I think the thing that jumped out at me most, that I was most impressed with, was Dorman High School out of Spartanburg and the way they won the Beach Ball Classic this week. Outstanding team. They beat some. In fact, I'm going to tell you who they beat on their way to winning the Beach Ball Classic. It's the first team from South Carolina to win this tournament in years and years. But Dorman got it done, and I watched it on TV as well, so that was good. I didn't have to go down there. Right now, Dorman is ranked number 1 in the state overall, boys basketball. They are nationally ranked, according to Max Prep. Anyway, right now, they're ranked number 6 in the country. And they look every bit the part. I can't tell you how very impressed I was with the way they played in those couple of games that I caught on TV. Now, they beat Whitney M. Young out of Chicago. They beat them by 3. That's the first one that I got to see. Then they beat St. Francis out of Alpharetta, Georgia. Beat them 83-66. That's a clean win right there for them. And then they beat St. John's out of Washington, D.C., 69-60 in the championship game. And I don't have their roster here with me, but Dorman has a really good basketball team. They got a couple of big guys on there that are outstanding, and they got some guards that are also outstanding. And they're defending state champs, obviously, in Class 5A. They should defend that state championship this year. I don't see anyone in the country, in the state, really beating them, even though they've already lost one game. I think they lost to Oak Hill, I want to say. But they have 13-1 right now, 2-8 in their region. And they got a big game coming up, let's see, after the St. John. They played Gaffney. They beat Gaffney pretty bad, 75-28. And they got Spartanburg on the 7th. So that's going to be a big one. In-city rivalry game. And so Dorman is a team that we should be proud of. They've really done us proud in this national tournament, showcasing that South Carolina does have a lot of talent here and some outstanding teams as well. I want to, Monday, from what I understand, the Jonakin team takes the floor again at Jonakin Middle School in Marion. And for those of you who haven't seen them yet, which I'm in that number, I'm going to try my best to get there to see that one because they are creating quite a buzz around town. Have a new coach, and obviously a new direction. And there's a lot of buzz around town about them. People are very excited about this team. And I can't wait to see them so that I can come back to you and tell you just what I saw. But looking at the varsity teams here for a minute, and this is going to be Marion played last night, and they got beat by, let's see, Carolina Forest. They got beat 74-63. Now, let me say that. And they also played tonight at home against South Florence. Now, I've been hearing whispers, in the street about, some kind of insurrection going on, somewhat with the, I wouldn't call it insurrection. I would call it attitude problems by some of the Marion players. Guys, listen, attitudes at this point of the season doesn't help you. Now you can stick your mouth off all you want. You can talk back to the coach. You can miss practices. You can just be an all-around pain in the neck. But that's not going to help you get where you want to go. Because people who are trying to recruit you are going to see your attitude, and they're not going to want to have nothing to do with you. Just hear me out. Coming to practice is not an option. You made a team, you commit to that team, you go to practice. You can't just take practice off anytime you want to. Okay? So, just a word. And I've been hearing some little mumblings about Mullins' team and similar little things going on with attitude and whatnot. None of that stuff helps the team. And this is a team game. It's a team game. It's not all about you. It's only about you in the context of the overall team. So, you can get it together or you can be gone. That's the bottom line. So, word to the wise is sufficient. Looking back at Marion's, recapping their season right now, they are, according to the record, 6-4, but they played a lot of tournaments, a lot of tough games, a lot of 5A, 4A teams. So that's understandable. But they lost the first game of the year to Carolina Forest 71-66. They beat Mullins 71-57. They beat Conway 61-58. They beat Lumberton 76-68. They beat Mullins 73-56. Then they lost to Hartsville 83-63, and that's kind of what started the slide. After that, they went to Columbia, the Carolina Challenge Showcase, or was that? Okay, they beat a team called A.L. Brown 96-90. Then in the Pepsi Classic, they beat Darlington 73-69 before losing to Lee Central 66-61. And I want to say they lost another game in the tournament as well, but that's not listed right here. Of course, last night they lost to Carolina Forest by 11. Looking at the Mullins team, Mullins basketball. First, let me read you the roster first for Mullins. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the Auctioneers 2019-2020 version, Sammy Presley is a 6'3" senior. Aleem Leggett is a junior. He's also 6'3". Tyler Sanvillo, point guard, senior, 6 foot. C.J. Gilchrist, senior point guard, 6 foot. Jaden Hayes, 6 foot shooting guard. Quentin Tisdale, 6'2", junior point guard, shooting guard, small forward. Shandon Floyd. Now, I don't know if Shandon is still on the team, right? Anyway, for now, this is what we got. Shandon Floyd, shooting guard, small forward, junior, 6 foot. Marcus Chandler, of course, the quarterback, football team, 6'3" senior. Marquise Roberts is also a 6'3" senior. Shaquan Gordon is a 6'3" senior. Jaquavius Dixon, 6'3" senior. Savion Campbell, 6'2" junior. Jahaven Phillips, 6'3" senior. Keharis Cross, 6'4" junior. So that's the roster for Mullins, at least the roster that Max Prep still has. Mullins season in the recap. They lost to Conway 69-68 back on the 2nd of December. Then got beat by Marion 71-57. Beat Lamar 75-15. Beat Conway 50-69. Lost to Marion 73-56. Beat Lamar 89-36. Lost to Latter 67-64. Beat Carvers Bay 64-45. And according to that's the last game that Mullins played through the Christmas break. Even though I thought they were playing in a holiday tournament, somebody told me down in Lake City, but I don't see that's registered anywhere. So I'm just going to have to assume until further notice that didn't happen. Looking at where they are going, the next game says here is at Hannah Pamplico on the 7th. And then they're at home on the 10th against Andrews. Then they're at home against Johnsonville on the 14th. They're at Kingstree on the 17th. At Carvers Bay on the 21st. At East Clarendon on the 24th. And then they host Hannah Pamplico on the 28th. At Latta on the 31st. At Johnsonville on the 4th of February. Then they're at home against Kingstree. At Andrews on the 10th of February. And they finished the season at home against East Clarendon. Are you trying to give me a signal over here or something? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So that's what's happening with Mullins, past and present. Now, the Marion girls. Yamazi Bowie is one of the players on the roster, along with Destiny Allen, Mariah Moody, Keela Britt, Kimmy Barnes, Yasmi Howard, Kanaya Davis, Tanasia Lester, Precious Davis, Ilaria Rogers, Keviana Dixon, Bria Timmons, and Zakaria Narcisco. That's Marion's girls roster. And Marion girls have not been beaten. FYI, they're still unbeaten. Got a record of 12-0. And this is the way their season has gone to date. On the 22nd of November, they played Johnson in Columbia, South Carolina, in the CMC tournament. And they won that game 77-14. They played Green Sea. Next, they beat Green Sea 65-14. Next up was Marlborough County. They beat them 66-33. Carolina Forest, they beat them 60-42. They handled Mullins, 69-50. Conway, 83-41. Lumberton, 59-29. Mullins again, 60-38. Then they beat Hartsville, 73-65. Marlborough County, 89-71. South Florence, 64-30. And Hartsville, 84-67. And it's time for me to take a break. Be right back.
Hey, can I give you some advice? Buying a set of those economy tires will make you feel like you're riding on a tractor in your car. You get what you pay for. I suppose you know that. I recommend you invest and buy quality Goodyear or Kelly tires from Gore Tire Service. Tractor ride or smooth ride. Your choice, Gore Tire Service, 1400 East Liberty Street, Marion, South Carolina. 843-423-5000. 843-423-5000. Online at GoreTireMarion.com.
This is Todd Johnson, Mullins Discount Drug. Are you going to the big box retail store to fill your prescriptions? Perhaps we can save you money on the same medication at Mullins Discount Drug. Come give us a try. Mullins Discount Drug, 310 South Main Street, downtown Mullins, South Carolina. Mullins Discount Drug, open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. 843-464-1757. 843-464-1757. Remember, Mullins Discount Drug.
Jackson Travel and Tours presents the Mountain Nation's Museums and Monuments Tour, January 17th through 18th, 2020. Join them as they travel to our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., to visit national monuments, museums, and the Fashion Center at Pentagon City. Prices begin at $125 per person for double occupancy, which includes transportation, hotel, and one complimentary breakfast. Reserve now. Space is limited. For more information, call 843-245-1519. 843-245-1519.
In life, we find ourselves faced with decisions: education, family, career, financial, and much more. Often we forget about arrangements for our death and homegoing. We often fail to realize that this is an important task. These decisions are much easier when made on a before-need basis.
Death is being sold like big time. Every time you turn the TV on, they're trying to sell you some burial insurance. They're trying to, guys. It's the biggest, most growth industry there is. People are dying to get in. I know.
106
Crazy.
East Darlington Street, Florence, 843-662-3581, or visit us at www.idealfuneral.com. For it is better to know us.
Cheryl and Lester
not
said they're
need us
13
than
I guess
to
they
need us
won
and
last
not
night.
know
Okay.
us.
We don't want to miss no wins, do we?
843-662-3581.
Listening to 98.3 FM, also heard at 1280 AM WJAY, area of South Carolina, Elpis Synergy Enterprise Radio Station.
98.3 FM, 1280 AM, WJAY.
This is PD Sports Wrap, highlights of Marion County high school sports. Please note, comments and feedback from callers and guests on PD Sports Wrap are not necessarily those of the owners of WJAY or any of WJAY's advertisers, but are the perspectives of callers and guests of PD Sports Wrap. Here's the host of the show, Michael Jenkins.
Okay, Cheryl and Les just updated me. The Swamp Fox girls are 13-0. So thank you very much, Cheryl and Lester. Of course, they beat Carolina Forest last night, but they just don't have the score here. They play tonight against South Florence, and then got South Florence on the 11th. And then on the 16th, they got Loris, followed by the 21st against Aner. And the big showdown against Dillon is on the 28th of January. And that game will be played in Marion. They then go to Loris, and they've wrapped the season with a game at Dillon. So, and that's going to probably determine who wins the conference this year. Mullins girls right now have a record, looks like, of 3-6. And they lost one conference game. I think that was the latter. And the roster is Janiah Swinton. She's a freshman. And Antoinette Reed, she's a senior. Miracle Rao, she is a senior. Kelly Friday is a junior. Junalia Nichols is a junior. Marquita Williams is a sophomore. Tamisha Lassane is a senior. Tiana Page is a junior. Janila Phillips is a junior. Nikira Lewis, that's my girl, she's a sophomore. And Nylea Morales, she is a junior. And that's the Mullins girls roster, and this season has gone as follows. In the second, they beat Conway 67-36. They lost to Marion 69-50, beat Lamar 59-37. Then, excuse me, they lost to Marion 60-38, beat Lamar 62-28, lost the latter 66-60, and then they played in that tournament, the Crestcom down at the beach, and they got beat 64-26 by Carlton, and they lost to Dorman 53-41, and they lost to Parkview 43-30. Which, okay, moving along to what's next for them. On the 7th, they got Hannah Pamplico at Hannah Pamplico. And then they have Johnsonville at home. They travel to Kingstree on the 17th to face the Lady Jaguars. Then they travel to Carvers Bay on the 21st to play the Lady Bears. And then East Clarendon on the 24th. So Muller's looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, that can't be right. all these games can't be on the road. I'm just going to assume that Max Prep messed up again. At any rate, East Clarendon, Latta, Johnsonville, and Andrew will wrap the season. Looking at the state rankings real quick, Marion girls are ranked number 1, as Cheryl and Lester said, at 13-0. They are followed by number 2, Camden, number 3, Keenan, number 4, Bishop England, number 5, Catawba, number 6, Woodruff, number 7, Manning, number 8 is Seneca, Fairfield Central comes in at 9, Clinton is 10, May River is 11, Chester is 12, Chapman is 13, Southside is 14, Emerald is 15, Pendleton is 16, Georgetown is 17, Newberry is 18, Powdersville out of Greenville is 19, and Broome and Mid Carolina round out the top 20 for Class 3A girls. Class 2A girls, Christ Church defending champs, still ranked number 1, followed by Barnwell, Andrew Jackson, Whale Branch, Philip Simmons, Buford, North Charleston, Lee Central, St. Joseph's, and Latta is 10. Number 11 is Kingstree, then Woodland, East Clarendon, Carvers Bay, Mullins girls have fallen to 15. Blacksburg is 16, Bamberg, Earhart 17, Fox Creek 19, Silver Bluff 19, and hold on a second, Silver Bluff is 19. We'll leave it at 19. Let's just call it the top 19. Okay, folks. Okay. Looking at 3A boys. Bishop England is top ranked, followed by Keenan. Marion is 3rd, followed by Wade Hampton, Seneca, Georgetown, Indian Land, Southside, Loris, Union County. They are the top 10. Waccamaw, Ridgeland, Hardyville is number 12. Edisto is number 13, followed by number 14, Camden, number 15, Chapman, number 16, Mid Carolina, number 17, Catawba Ridge, number 18, Manning, number 19, Newberry, and Chiraw is the number 20th ranked Class 3A team in the state. Class 2A, boys. Christ Church is ranked number 1, followed by Gray Collegiate. Lee Central's all the way up to 3 now. They beat Marion last week. Oceanside Collegiate, they got beat last night, I believe. They was ranked number 4, followed by Whale Branch, Greer Middle College, North Charleston, Barnwell, Abbeville, and Andrew Jackson round out the top 10, followed by Blacksburg, Southside Christian, Woodland, Louisville, Calhoun County, Burke, Latta, East Clarendon, St. Joseph's, and Fox Creek. Now, Latta is a team that may be starting to get some people's attention around here. I didn't really expect much from them this year. Of course, I didn't really know what they had coming back. But after they beat Mullins, you really had to kind of pay attention to what they were doing. And that second matchup with them should be very, very interesting. You know, the playoffs start today, looks like. Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans. Are they the Houston Texans? I think they are the Houston Texans. They were the Houston Texans before, then they moved somewhere else. But anyway, Houston Texans versus the Buffalo Bills. I don't know who you guys like in that one, but I'm going to be pulling for Houston, you know, because of Deshaun Watson. And these, of course, are wild card games. You're looking at the Patriots and the Titans. That game's at 8:15 today. And I'm going to say go Titans for obvious reasons because I just can't root for the Patriots. Vikings and Saints. I'm not a big fan of the Saints. I'm not a big fan of the Vikings either. I'm really not a big fan of Kirk Cousins, their quarterback, who I think is just awful in big games. And I don't see how the Saints don't win this game today. And this is one that I have dual interest in. I like the Seahawks and I like the Eagles. I think the Seahawks will win this game today. It's being played in Philadelphia. I believe that the Seahawks will come cross country and take out the Eagles. But I'll tell you what I'm really glad about. The Cowboys are not in the playoffs, people. That's right. The Cowboys are not in the playoffs. And you say, okay, so what's the big deal? I mean, there are other people who are not in the playoffs too, right? Yeah, there are. But nobody or no fan base that I know brags as much as some Cowboy fans. Not all of them. Some of them are actually tolerable. In fact, my son-in-law is a Cowboy fan, and he's also dragged my grandson along to also be a Cowboy fan, which I don't have a really big problem with. And I like Dak Prescott, but what happened here? Albert Lewis of Mullins. Yes, I'm calling his name. I know his mom is probably listening right now. But Miss Lewis, your son is the biggest braggart ever. He makes everybody hate the Cowboys, including me. Now, every year before the season starts, the first thing he does is predict the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. Every year. Who does that? Nobody wins every year. Now, I don't know exactly how long it's been, but it's been close to 20 years since the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. So what would make you think that they are going to win every single preceding year when they haven't won now in 1,000 years, it seems like? That's why I root against the Cowboys, because of him. He comes on with all these videos talking about ain't no party like a cowboy party because a cowboy party doesn't stop. Really? That's insane. Ain't no party like a cowboy party because a cowboy party don't stop. I wonder if it stopped now. Hasn't stopped yet? So now, what he'll do now is, because he's a big LeBron James fan, he'll hop over to LeBron James now and try to will him to another championship. That hasn't been working out lately either for him. But so I just sit back and listen because I know he's going to be the kiss of death to any team he roots for. So I just sit back and wait. Albert Lewis, this is for you, my brother. Have a wonderful sitting on the couch day this weekend while the Cowboys are not playing. Am I done here? Okay. Folks, that's all the time I got. I'll be back next week with more. Enjoy the football game. Oh, yeah, and Clemson won, too. And they're probably going to win another national championship. Wow. Go LSU. Anyway, that's all I got. Be back next week. Later.
PD Sports
Ain't no fan like Cowboy fans.
Ain't no party like a cowboy party because a cowboy party never stops.
You gotta put
He's
your
so crazy. He's the craziest man in the whole world.
Is 98.3 FM, 1280 AM.